What is an Anypoint Studio? An Anypoint Studio is a user-friendly integration development environment. It is used for designing and testing Mule applications. It is an Eclipse-based IDE. We can easily drag and drop our connectors from Mule palette. In other words, we can easily say that an Anypoint Studio is an Eclipse-based IDE for development of Flow. Next, we will see the studio. This is the studio it looks like. We can see that there are four different sections. One is the project explorer, one is canvas, mule palette, and the fourth one is console. This is the project explorer where we are creating our flows. This can be created by clicking on file new mule project. When we get into practical, I will be explaining it very clearly. But right now, remember, this is a project explorer where we can see all our files and everything. Here it is a canvas. Canvas, the general meaning we know, right? It's a graphical view. It is a mule palette where it contains various connectors like HTTP connector, uh, set payload, and so on. For example, this is the flow. It is called as a flow. We will get to know what is flow next slide. Here we drag and dropped an HTTP listener. This is a connector. This is one connector. And here is some basic application, some basic program. I just took a reference pic, and we can also see that there is a console. Have you all familiar with Eclipse IDE? If you are familiar, then it will be easy. The only difference is here we have this extra two sections, that is the canvas, where in Eclipse Studio we have the code we will write, and in this mule palette is used for canvas. No, means we need to drag and drop. From where we need to drag and drop? Here only. That's why an extra part is added. And here is a console. We all know that, where our input and output output will be seen. Coming to in Canvas, again there are three different parts like message flow, global element, and configuration XML. In message flow, we will see this graphical view, what we are seeing on present pic that we are seeing. In global elements, we are able to see about what are the connectors we used. All those are. Like in this example, it is a HTTP listener, right? In global elements, we'll get an HTTP listener. In configuration XML, for this flow, everything will be converted into XML. That's what the code we will see. We'll see that in next part. Next, going to another slide. Let's know what is mean by flow. Uh, Anyone are writing a MuleSoft certification exam, it is very important to know the difference between flow, private flow, and subflow. Now, let's start to know what is a flow. A flow is a which contains source, process, and error handling part. As we can see in the figure, this HTTP listener, just now I have explained that this is the HTTP listener connector. This is called as a source, and process is this. We will get to know about all connectors in the next video. This transform, message, and flow reference are process. Means we have discussed in second video about API led connectivity, system API, process API, like that. Compare, this is a process API, means we will process the request what we need to get. And here is the error handler part. uh, if anyone are familiar with Java, they'll be knowing more about what is error handling. Then we'll know what is a flow. A flow is which contains source, process, and error handling part. And the main thing we need to keep in our mind is that whenever we declare a flow, there should be source. We need to keep source pakka. Next, going to private flow. Private flow is also similar to flow. Then we'll know what is the difference. See here, a private flow has a source, process, and error handler part. All will think that what would be the difference. Even flow has the same part and private flow is also same part. The only difference is here in private flow we don't have a source. That is the main important thing. Okay, that's it. And the difference between flow and private flow, understood now? In flow we should have source, we need to declare the source compulsory, and in private flow we don't need to declare any source. Next we'll know what is subflow. Now this is what a subflow is. A subflow does not have a source and error handler part. It means it has only process part, and error handling for subflows are handled by flow and private flow. We'll get to know about that later. Thank you, friends. We'll meet in the next video.